Alright, seeing is believing, okay? So let's take a look at this video and see what we come up with. Alright, there's going to be a little boat come up, and what I want you to do is look at the back of the boat where it looks like his anchor is in the water. And look at how it bends. Look at how that bends right there, that anchor in the water, his anchor rope. Look at it. Look at it bending down into the water. Wow. Downward refraction, people. Same thing that's going on with that further boat. That boat is getting pulled down into the mirror because of the downward refraction. Same way with these other boats. And I'm going to give you something else here to look at, because I do a long observation on this. And I really want people to pay attention. Now, this is Bayport North Rack, and you can actually see where that sign is in the front of the rack. You keep an eye on that, and you'll start noticing how everything gets drawn in, drawn down, sucked down into that mirroring, that mirage. And that's the point that I really kind of want to make, that you know, this is something that we can go out and observe, and it's something that we need to expose a lot more and show people how this mirror line and this miraging actually creates the illusion of you know, this thing. Well, it is an illusion, but it's not an illusion. The upper portion is the real bird rack. The lower portion is the mirroring part of the bird rack. But see how it blends in with each other? And that's another thing when you look at Raleigh's criterion, where you have two objects that, you know, they get farther and farther away, those two objects will blend into one. Well, you can do the same thing with an object and a mirror. If you have that mirror on it, or if you're videoing or filming from an angle low to the surface of the mirror and drag something over it, the object that you're dragging and its reflection will melt into each other. And this is very easy to do. I'm been procrastinating on doing it to show people, but I think anybody can do it on their own little.
They honed in on me.
Do it on their own little, you know, small scale test, and see what they come up with, because it's very plausible. It's not that I'm trying to bullshit anybody or tell somebody that something is true that it ain't. Yeah, me hacking because I'm breathing bugs. The bugs are bad. All day here, the bugs are bad. They're flying up my nose and my ears and my eyes. And so I'm sitting there going, "Arr!" You know, I wanted to leave once these bugs started biting, but I wanted to stay because I knew that this was another good day of visibility, and I was going to catch something really special. Now, as I'm talking, you can watch that sign getting pulled down, because that's what it is. It's a square sign, well, a diamond-shaped sign in front of that rack, that's just melting into its own reflection. And that's what occurs when you have this diffraction, refraction, but it's actually literally pulling the object down, not pushing it up, like, again, the scientific community wants you to believe. I tell people what you should do is go out and do your own observations and analyze it yourself and see what you think, because this goes into our belief system that we are being told all truth, but when you go out and you test it yourself, you got to think twice about it. And we're all taken into a school at a young age, and our teacher tells us something, and immediately we believe it. Why? Because they are the adult, they are the teacher, and we're supposed to pay attention, listen to them, and learn from them. But what if they learn from people that deceive them? Well, then you got a bunch of deception going on that goes back to way back in history, way back in time. Um, and I think this all started when the government took over the education system, or even some of the other um, religious, I want to say religious cults, but again, I try to respect everybody's religion, what their belief is. That has nothing to do with what I do as far as observational videos. And that is one of the reasons why I try to leave religion out of my videos. I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to say, hey, you're a Muslim, so your religion is crap, or you're Chinese, so your religion is shit. That we shouldn't be doing that to each other, because what does that do? It adds to that divide and conquer. That's what their goal is. Now, we're watching this thing visually ourselves, and we're seeing what's going on, and you can slowly see this sign just melting away, being pulled down into that mirage, into that mirror. And it's not that it's getting further away, it's the angle of light is changing. The sun is moving further north of this rack, and due to that angle of light, I believe that this is what causes this effect to occur. It's not reflecting. Look at this guy in the front of the boat. I don't know what he was doing, uh, dancing or I have no idea. Uh, but it cracked me up when I saw it. Um, but I'm always saying the angle of light has a lot to do with things, and this is where um, I got a chance to kind of prove it for myself, because I took the time out to not jump right on filming the sun, because a lot of times that's what I do. I start filming the sun, and actually, I wish I would have stayed on this even as the sun appeared to set. Why? Because this thing pretty much totally vanished, and on my very last video, you'll see that when I actually pull away from the sun, and then I go back to trying to locate uh, this Bayport North Rack and Cutter's Rock. Totally vanished. And then you can see where um, Billy Steele's rack actually started mirroring itself underneath. So this angle of light does play a role in our visibility and how we see things. And again, even the birds, you'll see, birds fly by, or birds will go by, and they'll be half in the mirror, half out of the mirror, and they'll kind of like flicker in and out of the screen. Or you'll see a bird fly off the rack, and it vanishes into the mirror before it even hits the water. So it's not going behind the visible water plane. It's going down into that non-visible water that we cannot resolve with our eyes because of the angular resolution. That's as simple as I can make it or explain it, and that's how I see it. If somebody disagrees with my analysis, that's fine. But I'm getting sick of the trolls coming up my channel. So basically, I might say something back to them, but then I wind up deleting their comment and blocking them, because I'm not here to debate people. If you want to debate me, here's a challenge. Go out and do an observation where you place an object over a little hump or a little curve and use refraction to prove that it comes up from behind the curve. Okay, you can do that for me, and maybe I'll change my mind. But what I see is when I see my bird racks very good on a good visibility day, sitting right there in the water, and then later on it vanishes due to it being pulled down. That's my proof. Where's your proof that it gets pulled up? Here's some of the original audio that I said while I was out there.
I'm going to show you where the sun went. Its rays were to the south of this rack, and as it circles above, it moved to the north of this rack. That's when it seemed to start miraging. Look at that. It's literally getting, look at that. Literally getting sucked down. Wow, right in front of your eyes. Look at that.
My main goal was to get other people out um, doing their own observations, which I hope I have inspired others to do this, and go out and analyze your own footage, be your own judge, think for yourself, and do your own tests and experiments and see where they go. Um, that was my main goal of my whole channel, was to get other people to go out there and do the same kind of observations that I'm doing. Um, and like I said, I really hope I have inspired others to go out there and do it, because you can learn from your observations very easily. Paying attention to those finer, smaller details is one of the big things that you have to, always take into consideration. And also, you judging your own videos, and people, might question where the height of my camera is, but I have no reason to lie to myself or anybody else. So, again, this is what I do. I enjoy doing it. I get some beautiful sights. I get some beautiful videos. Um, and I actually enjoy being out there, even though I've got allergies. And sometimes when I'm out there, I start getting a runny nose. I start itching, burning eyes. But it's all well worth it in the long run. Now, what I'm going to do too here shortly is I'm going to zoom back, or pull back on my zoom, and show you where that sun is. And pay attention to this pole that's to the left of the screen. That's what that is. That's a channel marker. And I'm zoomed way up on everything out there. I'm at full zoom. And I did turn my compensation exposure down a little bit. You can see how far away that this rack is. And then look at how the light itself creates this bow in the water. It's just the angle of light is what it is. It has nothing to do with any curvature. It's just that you're seeing that light being refracted up. So if the light's being refracted up, how can it pull things up from behind the curve? I don't believe it can. I've never seen any evidence to support it. Also, look at the reflections in the water. That's something too. The reflections of the pole. See how elongated the reflections are, depending on where they're located at. That's something too to always take into consideration. All right. Well, Ben, you don't have to put my audio out. I actually hope you don't. I just did it because I thought I'd bring some good points up to you. So thank you for watching.